Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. அண்ணாமலை தனிலே அமர்ந்திருக்கும் அரசே, அண்ணாமலை தனிலே அமர்ந்திருக்கும் அரசே, ஆனந்த ஆனவாரே அடியேனுக்கு அருள் செய்வாய், ஆனந்த ஆனவாரே அடியேனுக்கு அருள் செய்வாய், அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா. எங்கும் நிறைந்திருந்தே ஏகமாயானவரே, எங்கும் நிறைந்திருந்தே ஏகமாயானவரே, ஏகம் நிறைந்த என்னை இன்பமடைய செய்வாய், ஏகம் நிறைந்த என்னை இன்பமடைய செய்வாய், அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா. சொல்லி விளக்க உன்னை சொற்கள் உண்டோ உலகில், சொல்லி விளக்க உன்னை சொற்கள் உண்டோ உலகில், ஜோதியுள் ஜோதியாக ஜொலிக்கும் சுயச்சுடரே, ஜோதியுள் ஜோதியாக ஜொலிக்கும் சுயச்சுடரே, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, அருள் செய்வாய் ரமண தேவா, 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 ரமண தேவா. தலைவா பகவான் ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, பத்தியே பகவான் ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, அஹமே பகவான் ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, பரமேஸ்வரனே ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, நவநாதகனே ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, சிவசக்திமயம் ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, தலைவா பகவான் ரமணாய நமோ நமவே, பத்தியே பகவான் ரமணாய நமோ நமவே. ஓம் நமோ பகவதே ஸ்ரீ ரமணாய.
Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Bhagavan blessed us with 40 verses on reality called Ulladu Narpadu. And this was translated in Sanskrit, and that text is called Saddarshanam. I was blessed to attend classes on Saddarshanam by Swamini Swatma Vidyanandaji. Inspired by the teachings, poems blossomed. I will be rendering 3 poems from that collection to bring the Mahavakya Tat Tvam Asi. Tat is the reality, and that will be the first poem. Tvam, who am I, will be the second poem. And the third poem will bring the Asi part together to bring the truth, you are that. Mangala Charanam 1.
உள்ளதல உள்ள உணர் உள்ளதோ உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலர உள்ளத்தே உள்ளதால் உள்ளமெனும் உள்ள பொருள் உள்ளலவன் உள்ளத்தே உள்ளபடி உள்ளதே உள்ளல் உணர்வாயே உள்ளே
Satpratyaya kim nu vihaya santam hridyesha chintarahito hridakyah katam smaramastamameyamekam tasya smritis tatra dhrudhaiva nishta. The reality. It is not a verb to comprehend. It is not an adjective to depend. It is a noun to be understood. It is the existence under your hood. It is found everywhere. It is constant without a glare. It is in the spiritual heart, mind, intellect, ego, memory mart. When the inner fears and tears sleep, with the japa and meditation deep, it is known in the antahkarana, that is calm and free from drama. Cognitions can be twofold, riding side by side rolled. Object cognition as though exist. It is the true cognition under the mist. Name and form are worshipped. Formless, nameless is understood. It is nameless and formless to display. Abiding on the reality is the way to pray. Lose the orientation to body-mind complex. Keep the likes and dislikes in check. Contemplate the reality without strain. Ask the question, who am I, again and again. Verse 3.
உலகுமை பொய்த்தோற்றம் உலகறிவாமன்றென்று உலகு சுகமன்றென்று உரைத்தென் உலகு விட்டு தன்னையோர்ந்தொன்றிரண்டு தானற்று நானற்ற அந்நிலை எல்லார்க்குமோ பாவுனே துன்னும்
Satyam mrisha vachididam jadam va dukkam sukham veti mudha vivadaha adrishta loka nihitam pratiti nishta vikalpa paramakileshta. Who am I? iPhone, iPad, iPod or iReligion? I get domesticated like a pigeon. I get mixed up with the possessions. I get attached to the various relations. I have this and I have that. I become this and I want that. I build the house in quicksand. I then worry that it doesn't stand. I build the house in quicksand. I then worry that it doesn't stand. I have a Jiva-centric philosophy. I have a Jagat-centric philosophy. I have an Ishvara-centric philosophy. I drop all these to know the true I. I get caught in the coffee shop conversations. I get lost in the philosophical discussions. I is not found in white or grey matter. I, the sentient, is the cause of the splatter. I is the cause for all emotions. I is not affected by any commotions. I is the glowing tip of the incense. I is the cause for the world to commence. I accommodate all the differences. I allow all fears and tears. I do not participate in the wrestling ring. I witness the reality of everything. I abide in the truth of the I. I contemplate in the nature of I. I exist without any limitations. I witness without any differentiation. It is the choices that create the mystery. It is the FOMO, fear of missing out, that becomes the history. If you know that, there is nothing to choose. If you are everything, there is nothing to lose. It is not a theology. It is not a philosophy. It is not a branch of knowledge. It is the knowledge that transcends branches. It is understood without any doubts. It is the infinite, limitless whereabouts. It is the oneness seen everywhere. It is the absolute freedom for everyone. Verse 39.
பத்தனான் எனுமட்டே பந்தமுத்தி சிந்தனைகள் பத்தனார் என்று தன்னை பார்க்கும் கால் சித்தமாய் நித்தமுத்தன் தான் நிற்க நிற்காதேல் பந்த சிந்தை முத்தி சிந்தை முன் நிற்குமோ மனத்துக்கு ஒத்தாங்கு
बद्धत्वभावे सति मोक्षचिन्ता बन्धस्तु कस्येति विचारणेन सिद्धे स्वयं स्वात्मनि नित्यमुक्ते क्व बन्धचिन्ता क्व च मोक्षचिन्ता. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Not yet. Where are we going? Nowhere to go. What to do now? Nothing to do. Let us live the life and look at the self. Let us be in the moment, free and silent. Look within and ask, who am I? What do you see? I see body. Does the body feel bound? No. Look within and ask, who am I? What do you see? I see sense organs. Can the senses function independently? No, not at all. Sense organs depend on the mind. Look within and ask, who am I? What do you see? Mind. Is the mind sentient? No, mind is inert. Can the mind shine by itself? No, it shines like the moon with the borrowed sunlight. Look within and ask, who am I? What do you see? Ahankara. Is the ahankara satya or mithya? It is a mixture of both. What is it made of? It is a combination of two, subjective and objective components. Where is this bondage located? It is in the subjective component. Where is the ignorance located? It is in the nature of the asker. Where is this doership located? It is in the subjective part of ahankara. Where is the done-inship located? It is in the dependent nature of ahankara. Do you understand what has happened? Yes. When reality is not known, the unreal becomes real. The real becomes unreal. Are we there yet? Yes. When you have the darshan of Sat, you know you are free. You are that Atma which is ever free. Where is the worry of bondage? Where is the worry of freedom? Everything is as though Atma is ever free. Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
गुहेशं ॐ तत्सदाख्यं पुरुषं गुहेशं नतार्तिनाशाय शरीरवन्तं नतार्तिनाशाय शरीरवन्तं मोदस्वरूपं मधुरस्वभावं मोदस्वरूपं मधुरस्वभावं त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि भजन्ति ये त्वां परभक्तियुक्त गलन्ति तेषां निखिलश्च दोषाः भजन्ति ये त्वां परभक्तियुक्त गलन्ति तेषां निखिलश्च दोषाः वहसे च मुक्तिः सकलापि सिद्धिः वहसे च मुक्तिः सकलापि सिद्धिः त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि तेजस्विनो दीनजनाश्च भक्त्या तेजस्विनो दीनजनाश्च भक्त्या श्रीसन्निधिं ते शरणो व्रजन्ति रमेतरूपे तव कोणदुव्ये श्रीसन्निधिं ते शरणं व्रजन्ति रमेतरूपे तव कोणदुव्ये त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि मदन्तरङ्गे निवसत्वनर्घा नान्ततवाक्य सकलगहन्त्री मदन्तरङ्गे निवसत्वनर्घा नान्ततवाक्य सकलगहन्त्री यतो हृदि त्वं न तातोऽस्ति वाच्यं यतो हृदि त्वं न तातोऽस्ति वाच्यं त्वामात्मनाथं रमणं भजामि 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 தேர்ந்திலையே தீர்ந்திலையே கௌவிய லௌகிக கலைமயகம் தீர்ந்திலையே தீர்ந்திலையே எழுந்திராயம் பாவாய் எழுந்திராயம் பாவாய் திவ்யமே ஞான தினகரனே ஸ்ரீரமணன் ஸ்ரீரமணன் திவ்யமே ஞான தினகரனே ஸ்ரீரமணன் ஸ்ரீரமணன் யுவியல் நீ காண எழுந்திராயம் பாவாய் திவ்யமே ஞான தினகரனே ஸ்ரீரமணன் ஸ்ரீரமணன் யுவியல் நீ காண எழுந்திராயம் பாவாய் எழுந்திராய் பௌதிக விஞ்ஞான படு நிஷியும் மெல்ல மெல்ல எவ்வியலோ ஒன்றே எல்லாவற்றும் ஐந்துளது பௌதிக விஞ்ஞான படு நிஷியும் மெல்ல மெல்ல எவ்வியலோ ஒன்றே எல்லாவற்றும் ஐந்துளதென்று ஓவதான உதய வெளி கண்டது அஹோ ஓவதான உதய வெளி கண்டது அஹோ அவ்வியலான்ம அறிவே என்ன மறைமுள் செவ்வனே கூவி தெரிவித்தும் கேளாய் போல் அவ்வியலான்ம அறிவே என்ன மறைமுள் செவ்வனே கூவி தெரிவித்தும் கேளாய் போல் கௌவிய லௌகிக கலைமயகம் தீர்ந்திலையே தீர்ந்திலையே திவ்யமே ஞான தினகரனே ஸ்ரீரமணன் ஸ்ரீரமணன் யுவியல் நீ காண எழுந்திராயம் பாவாய் எழுந்திராயம் பாவாய் எழுந்திராய் எத்தனைதான் கல்வியெல்லாம் இங்கே நீ கற்றாலும் எத்தனையோ செல்வம் நீ ஏதிடினும் எத்தனைதான் கல்வியெல்லாம் இங்கே நீ கற்றாலும் எத்தனையோ செல்வம் நீ ஏதிடினும் கேள்வனுடன் புத்திரரும் ஏவல் புரிவோரும் சூழ புத்திரரும் ஏவல் புரிவோரும் சூழமிக சித்திரமாய் தோன்றுமெழு தேக திரிந்தாலும் சித்திரமாய் தோன்றுமெழு தேக திரிந்தாலும் வித்தகியன்றி உலகம் மேன்மை புகழ்ந்தாலும் வித்தகியன்றி உலகம் மேன்மை புகழ்ந்தாலும் அத்தனையும் சொப்பனமே வித்தகியன்றி உலகம் மேன்மை புகழ்ந்தாலும் அத்தனையும் சொப்பனமே யாமாரைய மனுரும் சுத்த பரமான்ம ஸ்வரூப சுத்த பரமான்ம ஸ்வரூப விழிபருளும் அத்தன் ரமணன் அடிக்கு அன்பாவாயம் பாவாய் அத்தன் ரமணன் அடிக்கு அன்பாவாயம் பாவாய் அன்பாவாய் எம் பாவாய் அன்பாவாய் எம் பாவாய்.
For over 3 years, Manu Subedar, a Marathi scholar, resisted the invitation of his friend, Mr. Sankalal Banker, to go to Ramana Ashramam. Manu pleaded with him that he was not ready. He explained his reason as follows. If I went into a very large shop, I would feel ashamed to come out with my hands empty. At last, Manu decided that he would pay a visit and prepared himself for about 2 months prior to that visit by reading 2 outstanding books, the Ashtavakra Gita and the Avadhuta Gita. After finishing his work in Cochin, he set out for Tiruvannamalai. As most first-time devotees do, he decided that he would ask a few questions to clear his doubts, and started framing a few of them. But as he formulated each question, he found that he knew the answer. So when Manu finally had the darshan of the Maharshi, he really had no questions to ask. On his visit, Manu Subedar presented to the Maharshi a commentary on the Gita by the great Saint Jnaneshwar, a great Marathi classic, which he had rendered into English after 8 years of effort. Bhagavan was much pleased with the commentary. In addition, Manu also presented a copy of the Ashtavakra Gita and the Avadhuta Gita. He drew Bhagavan's attention to the very first verse in the Avadhuta Gita, which is as follows. It is only through the grace of God that, in men with knowledge, a desire is born, a desire to experience cosmic unity, Advaita, a desire which protects them from the great dangers of samsara. Manu Subedar further pointed out that most of the matter in these books was for the advanced seekers. For new seekers who are attempting to learn, there is not much direct guidance. With infinite compassion in his eyes, Bhagavan looked at Manu Subedar and instructed one of his followers to bring out a book. This was the Mahabhakta Vijayam of Nabaji that describes many revered Marathi saints like Jnaneshwar, Nivratti Sadhu, and others. Bhagavan opened the book and began to read. Manu Subedar noted with awe that the book opened exactly at the page where Bhagavan intended to read. The page had a dialogue between a young Jnaneshwar Maharaj, a self-realized soul, and his father, Vitoba, who was still afraid, still seeking, and still groping. The father had gone to the forest to practice asceticism. Bhagavan relished reading the discourse, and everyone present thoroughly enjoyed the reading. Through that dialogue, Manu Subedar came to understand that he was given exactly what he needed. Here is a humble attempt to capture that dialogue, which is very useful for spiritual seekers. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
Baba, Baba, open your eyes.
Oh, Gnaneshwar, my putra, what an auspicious day to get your darshan here. What brings you here?
Baba, please leave this dangerous jungle and come back to our city with me. Moreover, our king also asked me to bring you back.
Oh, the king? Since I sent his soldiers back empty, he sent you now? Oh, Gnaneshwar, you know, I gave my word to all, deliberately left everything in the city, and came here to the forest. Should not the righteous ever stick to their word?
But we, your own children, are calling you back. Not only the king.
Does one taste again what has been vomited once, even if it is some delicious modak? How can I go back there, mix with the country folk, and love them or adore the king? The forest shall ever be my abode, and the world yours. So go back and live happily in the world.
But Baba, why do you live in this forest?
My son, what profit or pleasure will I obtain if I go back to the world? Instead of aiding, it will only hinder my salvation. But this forest, which is free from people, is alone fit for Brahmanishta, attention to self.
You say you're practicing Brahmanishta, which transcends all distinctions, but you differentiate that this is a forest and that is a city. In Brahmanishta, can there be any idea of duality?
So long as the notion mind persists, the ego sense and perception of duality will not disappear. It is Nirvikalpa Nishta that drives away duality and reveals the self. I have to be free from all desires and all society to practice that Nishta. What better place is there than this forest to practice and realize the self?
Baba, knowing oneself and being that self alone is Brahmanishta and not living in forests.
Even though one may know the self in the presence of one's guru, is it not necessary to stay in solitude, to remain fixed in that self?
True daddies with a firm mind know that Aradhana and the ego will not be destroyed by living alone in the forest. If that is so, why should you oppose home life and live in this forest, Baba?
If those who have become one with the self remain in the family life, it will hamper their practice of samadhi. They will lose their experience of realization of the self. Therefore, my son, those who have attained the bliss of sahaja state will not entertain, even in a dream, the desire to engage in family life.
A state of being in Sahajanishta means being free from both desires and aversions. Can hating the town and loving the forest be called Sahajanishta?
How can one carry on with the affairs of the world who has no desires either to do or not to do?
If one has given up all desires to engage in any activity but engages in the practice of samadhi, isn't that practice also an activity? If so, why not take up the activity of the family also, Baba?
Even if samadhi is an activity, it will remove all thoughts and anxieties. On the other hand, family life will create all kinds of thoughts and anxieties.
When one is Sat Chit Ananda himself, why should one engage in Brahmanishta sadhana aiming samadhi?
Don't the wise rishis say that Brahmanishta is realizing the sleep state while being awake? Otherwise, can anyone experience the irresistible bliss flowing from samadhi?
Vedas say that ultimate bliss is found in being a spectator to the gaze of senses during the waking state, to the activities of the mind during dream, and to the state of blank during sleep. It is like the shadow of a flying hawk. The shadow touches everything but is not attached to anything. While this is the Vedic truth, why do you say that? The sleep-like state during waking will alone give bliss.
Waking and dream conditions will plunge one into the affairs of the world and render one as a prey to the wild beasts of sense organs. Hence, only that samadhi where all affairs of the world cease and where there is a total void as during sleep is the proper samadhi.
The best and proper samadhi is not to be in a mere void state. True samadhi is like the state of King Janaka. Janaka remained engaged in the affairs of the world, but at the same time slain with his sword of studying Nana any beastly world affairs.
King Janaka had studied Gnana that he was Brahman, but he was not in the fourth state. Compared to Janaka, Sukha Rishi got rid of all attachments and he was able to conquer the monkey mind by staying in the forest, right?
Janaka actually secured annihilation of mind and was able to do what he pleased with his mind, and not Sukha. Sukha gave up all external attachments and carried his life in forests.
Only by being the seer, one can get rid of what is seen. How can one get rid of what is seen by being in the middle of scene? To cure a poisoned man, if poison is given, won't the man die?
But we do give one poison as an antidote against another poison, don't we, Baba? He alone is the vice nanny who establishes firm nana against the dangers of the senses, and not the one who is always in nishta, filled with fear that any time the wild beasts of sense objects would attack him. The one in nishta will not realize the supreme bliss of Brahman, but realize only his fear.
Tell me, son, what would the sense objects not do to the one in family life? When they are capable of giving grief to even ascetics in Samadhi Nishta? Can a dried leaf that has fallen into a turbulent flood keep still in one place?
The sense organs will bring down anyone who has not attained firm jnana. If a big rock falls into a flood, it remains there unmoved. One must instead be the big rock amidst gushing numerous sense activities. Such a person of firm jnana only can experience the bliss of Brahman.
However steady one may be fixed in jnana, he is sure to be engulfed in the darkness of Maya unless he is always absorbed in meditation of Brahman, giving up all society.
What you say is true if there is such a thing as Maya apart from Brahman. Then one would have to get rid of it by always being in Nishta. In effect, you are saying that one's shadow will fight with one. The only result of fighting with an unreal shadow will be exhaustion. If you don't stay quiet in silence, realizing the unreality of Maya, but go on eliminating, saying, not this, only trouble remains.
How is one to attain Sahaja Gnana, a spontaneous knowledge, without eliminating the unreal?
The more we eliminate the unreal things as not this, more sense objects will go on appearing, like winged white ants that swarm out of an anthill. The more you try to remain a witness, the more will the delusion of I am the body assert itself, like the curly tail of the dog resuming its bent shape, however much we try to keep it straight. To realize the majestic bliss of Brahman, self-inquiry is the direct path, using which one realizes themselves as Brahman, and ego and Maya are entirely illusory, like the appearance of silver in the mother of pearl.
Is it possible to conquer the grief-causing sense objects? Is it possible to become one with the all-pervading, blissful self by not doing any other sadhana but merely realizing through self-inquiry?
When a live cow cannot kill a tiger, how can a dead cow do so? Similarly, what can the sense objects do to the self, which is eternal, which extends everywhere, and is of the nature of bliss? As even a fat cow will be afraid to face a tiger, sense objects will not dare to come before Ignani, who by steady Gnana has attained perfection. But even if they do, they will be extinguished as the cow by the tiger.
What if the Gnani, by mixing with the ignorant crowd, should get entangled in sense objects, yield to mind, and become entirely sorrowful? What if the Gnani becomes like a chaste woman who becomes unchaste by mixing with such people?
The steadfast, chaste woman will maintain her chastity in spite of the company of any number of unchaste people. The unsteady one will slip even without any evil company. Similarly, the firm Gnani will never lose his perfect realization, though surrounded by any number of ignorant ones. The unsteady one will lose his Gnana even when in solitude.
You are the awakened one. O Gnaneshwar, while I want to agree with you, I cannot imagine how one can become a Sahaja Gnani if one engaged in domestic affairs.
Though the Gnani mixes with ignorant and appears to play a part with them, he will ever remain as the experiencer of the supreme bliss. If a Brahmin acts the part of a scavenger and behaves like one on the stage, still he would ever remain only as a Brahmin without becoming a scavenger.
However firm the Gnana of a man may be, unless he contemplates at least few moments every day that he is Brahman, it is very difficult for him to become a Brahmagnani. Isn't that true?
Is it necessary for the Brahmin who is acting the part of a scavenger to frequently think that he is a Brahmin? Will he become a scavenger if he does not think so? After the annihilation of the ego, should one still retain the knot of the ego and go on meditating, I am Brahman? One who has renounced their ego sense of I and mine will always be respected by all. That Gnani will always be enjoying the supreme bliss of self, even if he does not practice any meditation.
Even if one is equal to the Lord Almighty, if one does not daily practice the meditation I am Brahman, he will undoubtedly become an ignorant and his ego will never vanish. Isn't this the case?
Baba, when you hold the light in your hands and ask darkness to remain, will it remain? Similarly, if one has attained the knowledge that one is the Supreme itself, will ignorance remain, even if it is asked to remain? After realizing that self, will Maya come even if it is invited? One who has recognized beyond all doubt, in the presence of his Guru, that Brahman alone is real and Maya is unreal. Then for him, what difference will there be it desire or aversion, bondage or freedom, renunciation or family life, and forest or country? Baba, when you are that, what can family life or going back to the country do?
My eyes are open, Gnaneshwar. When a Gnani like you is there with me, wherever I am, what can Maya do? What can family life or country do? I will come with you, Putra.
Swami, Jesus and other great souls have come down to earth to save sinners. Have I any hope? Bhagavan was visibly shaken by this earnest cry coming from the depths of the devotee's heart and answered with reassurance. There is hope. Yes, there is hope. The devotee who was suffering from chronic dysphasia was also trained in the Carnatic music to sing and perform on the veena, observed a kriti on Bhagavan blossoming out from his heart, which he presented to Bhagavan. After listening, Bhagavan patiently instructed the rules of prosody to this devotee. This devotee is none other than the Sharanagati Kriti composer Sri Manavasi Ramaswamy Iyer, who has composed many gems of songs on Bhagavan's grace. The devotees in the San Francisco Bay Area are fortunate to have the presence of Manavasi Iyer's granddaughter, Srimati Rajamami, a Vainika, living here. Thanks to Rajamami's teaching, interested devotees are able to learn and present a few Manavasi Mama's beautiful melodies here. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya.
அரசே அண்ணா மலையரசே அண்ணாமலை அரசே அரசே அண்ணா மலையரசே அண்ணாமலை அரசே அரசே அண்ணா மலையரசே அண்ணாமலையரசே அரியயன் காணாத அடிமூடி ஊடையோனே அரியயன் காணாத செஞ்சடை மூடியின் திகழ் திங்கள் கங்கை பஞ்சபாணக்காய் பாலனே தீரணாகி தஞ்சமென்றடைந்தோரை தயமிக்க அருள் நோக்கி கொஞ்சும் அடியார் கண்கள் குளிர காட்சி தந்த தஞ்சமென்றடைந்தோரை தயமிக்க அருள் நோக்கி கொஞ்சும் அடிய கண்கள் குளிர காட்சி தந்த அரசே அண்ணா மலையரசே அண்ணாமலை அரசே அழகு சுந்தர மருள் அழகுடை மகனாக அழகு சுந்தர மருள் அழகுடை மகனாக வழுவில்லா ஞானத்தை வாரி வாரி இறைத்து வழுவில்லா ஞானத்தை வாரி வாரி இறைத்து நழுவாத தானொன்று நானென்று மாத்தாட்ட விழையும் ஸ்ரீராமனுக்கு வேதியனாய் காட்சி தந்த நழுவாத தானொன்று நானென்று மாத்தாட்ட விழையும் ஸ்ரீராமனுக்கு வேதியனாய் காட்சி தந்த அரசே அண்ணா மலையரசே அண்ணாமலையரசே அரசே அண்ணா மலையரசே சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் அருணை சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் அருணை சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் ஜீவத்வமர வேண்டும் சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் ஜீவத்வமர வேண்டும் சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் சிவனி தலத்தில் தேசுருவா பாகமும் அருளினார் புவன சிவதல துள ஒரு கலையுரை பூரணத்தில் கொரு பொக்கிஷமான புவன சிவதல துள ஒரு கலையுரை பூரணத்தில் கொரு பொக்கிஷமான சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் ஜீவத்வமர வேண்டும் சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும். கௌதம துர்வாச குஹ நம சிவாய. கௌதம துர்வாச குஹ நம சிவாய. கணக்கிலாத போதன கரை சேர்ந்த தலமீதே கௌதம துர்வாச குஹ நம சிவாய. கணக்கிலாத போதன கரை சேர்ந்த தலமீதே கர்வம் கொள் மகிஷனை கர்வம் கொள் மகிஷனை கண்ட துண்டமாக்கிய கர்வம் கொள் மகிஷனை கண்ட துண்டமாக்கிய துர்கையின் மகத்துவம் துலங்கிடும் தலமீதே கர்வம் கொள் மகிஷனை கண்ட துண்டமாக்கிய துர்கையின் மகத்துவம் துலங்கிடும் தலமீதே ஒரு தரம் உள்ளத்தில் கருதவே உய்க்கும் கிரிதனை வலம் வர கேட்டதெல்லாம் தரும் திருச்சுழி ரமணனின் திருவருள் நோக்காகும் திவ்ய சுபபலம் ஸ்ரீராமன் பெற ஒரு தரம் உள்ளத்தில் கருதவே உய்க்கும் கிரிதனை வலம் வர கேட்டதெல்லாம் தரும் திருச்சுழி ரமணனின் திருவருள் நோக்காகும் திவ்ய சுபபல ஸ்ரீராமன் பெற அருள் சிவனடி சேர வேண்டும் ஜீவத்வமர வேண்டும்